Welcome to Time to Give Back. So I've got some new plans and some new ideas and projects for the new year, and I just was about to put those plans into motion, and then I realized I need help. And as usual, I need assistance from people who aren't me and resources that aren't mine. And I was just about to reach out for those resources when something inside of me said, say, when are you ever going to have enough or do enough or accomplish enough to stop asking and to stop needing, and just, when are you ever going to just be able to give back? And I said, now's good. Now, I don't have any money, so that's not part of the givings. The givings, if you will, I'm going to refer to those as returns. But before we get started with that process, let's take a look at the short list of things that money can't buy, but that can truly make a person wealthy. Because we're going to have to adjust our perspective a little bit to do what I want to accomplish. Number one, health. Absolutely neglected by the majority of us. Family. Completely underrated. Friends. Friendships are often subject to some pettiness and some little games, and they're generally underappreciated. Decent neighbors. We really don't know our neighbors anymore, and that's a big mistake. A functional car, a warm place to stay, a closet full of clothes, food to eat, and a decent job. That's a little group there. Something you believe in, a code that you can rely on, that gives you, stability and peace of mind. Mental health. With mental health, it's usually out of sight, out of mind. So basically, if you can't see it, who cares about it? Until issues come up and things you've taken for granted that are good for mental health or that are bad for mental health, we're just not paying as much attention to that as we should. A home that's safe, a school that's safe, a community that's safe, a state that's relatively safe, a nation that's not at war. Because safety is a requirement for peace of mind and the promoting of things like creativity, generosity, and tolerance. All the things that make the world a good place. A few amenities like power, internet, running water, and a few little luxuries. We take those things for granted. Some things to get you through the tough times, like a favorite food, a few good movies, a favorite song, a loving set of parents, hopefully, or at least one parent, a best buddy, a loving pet, a place where you can go in order to have some me time, to think things through, a favorite book, an acquaintance who always has good news or good advice or has a non-judgmental heart. These things are invaluable. Exercise, fitness, an education, a favorite teacher, an enjoyable field of study. These are things that give you a release and relief and take your mind off of things and help you grow your confidence. An enjoyable hobby. Physically pain-free. No chronic or ongoing or reoccurring pains. That's huge. That's a huge issue for people who have that, and it's a thing that we take for granted when we don't. A healthy perspective. Being able to, understand and have in your life things like tolerance, logic, reason. And when I say reason, I mean the ability to be reasonable at times when there's stress or maybe some unreasonable people in your presence. Curiosity, consideration, and hope. A moral, spiritual compass that you can rely on for stability in your life and to improve your character. And that's the list of wealth, or what I refer to as quality of life assets, goes on and on. My list falls very short, and I'm sure there's a better list on the internet that's more thorough, and we should all look at that. So each of these things should be utilized in its fullest and then fully appreciated for what it's worth. Because listen, when you have what you need, and then you have some of the little extras that are on that list, you're actually one of the rich people. Because look, in a time when we are making a big deal about the one percenters having it all and the regular folks not having enough, you have to consider the possibility that the truly wealthy are the 30 percenters, or the 58 percenters, or the 86 percenters, or whatever the percentage is that represents the truly happy people in the world. You can't buy happiness. You can't buy peace of mind. You can't buy internal harmony, good friends, a loving family, health, and fitness. You can't buy self-esteem, dignity, mental health, and all the other really good stuff that makes life awesome. You can't buy it. Okay, so now that we have opened our mind to a different maybe idea of what real wealth is, we can assess our lives for these types of riches and give them their proper value. Once you do, you'll see that you do have what it takes to give back. Everyone does. And now that I know that I can give back, and I am long overdue, I want to take a look at who can benefit from the pearls of wisdom, the jewels of advice, the golden nuggets of positivity and perspective. And I put those things in terms of things that can be confused with, wealth in one perspective, valuable gems, treasures and riches and all that stuff. And then the things that I'm saying that are truly valuable. So we have to get used to at least associating them with value, if not replacing them with some other things that we hold more valuable. And I mean, everyone can benefit from these types of things, but I want to address the population who might have reason to resist the giving back process. Okay, so let me list these groups. And I might be in one or two of them, or three, and you might be in one or two or none. But let's look, because I don't want anything to get in the way of the process that we're trying to establish here. So, number one, some people have no support in their lives. Only takers and people who suck the good and the resources out of anyone that's around them. And unfortunately, sometimes these people are parents who should be providing support and options and incentive, education, positivity, and encouragement. This means that there are children growing up, or children who have grown up with or without support, and who may not believe in support or even asking for support or help, not being able to take it when it's offered to them. To them I say, please give it a try. Number two, some people just don't know how to approach success. They can't visualize being successful. They can't come up with a short-term plan to take the first few steps involved with setting up success. And even if they had a plan, they don't have the focus and the commitment that you need to keep the momentum and finish the plan. To them I say, it can be done. Research the process. Try again, and don't give up. The third group, some people have a negative attitude about themselves. They have a negative attitude about other people who could otherwise be assets to them. They have a negative attitude about organizations that were created to provide assistance and to give that support. And even the opportunities themselves. So the opportunity that's presented to them, even that opportunity, they have a negative attitude about it. Because it came from this person, because it may help those people, because it takes too long, because it takes some money, and they reject the opportunity. To them I say, be smart. Learn to tell the difference between friend, foe, and fraud. The next group. Some people just don't know that they're lazy, and they really don't. They're unfamiliar with a solid work ethic and the work ethics that build champions and success in general. They've just never been exposed to that. Some people won't admit that they're scared. They don't know how to deal with the anxiety that comes with trying to achieve. Or they're easily overwhelmed by complex endeavors. if it's one or two steps, or if all you do is pay some money, or something simple, they're good. But if it's more involved, they're out. They have a negative perspective, or are otherwise self-sabotaging themselves with a negative self-fulfilling prophecy tendency. To them, I say, don't deny the existence of the various proven paths of success. Research them. Prepare yourself to travel on those paths, and even see if you can get a companion on that path, right? Somebody who also wants success, also wants to achieve the same or similar goal, or a person who's already done it. That's even better. A guide that knows the path. Next group. Some people simply don't have an effective process for working through or thinking through the journey that is an achievement. To them, I say, it's not your fault. You don't have to, if you don't have a plan, that's not your fault. It doesn't come to some people automatically. And it's very common for plans to fail. But you have to research the process of planning. And you need to research the plans that already exist that have led to success. And the last group, I call it young life. When you and everyone else believes that it's okay to do nothing and to want nothing just because you're young. But we've already seen 7-year-old authors, 10-year-old podcasters, 13-year-old online entrepreneurs, and so on. Now, do you want to be, a 15-year-old CEO of your own company and have ulcers and migraines before you're 20? No. But having a passion, developing a work ethic, being productive, and doing it all in moderation is something to think about. Now, with that list right there, what I'm doing is I'm addressing this particular population who might be resistant to the process of giving back or receiving, really. Because I want to give back and they don't want to receive, that's going to mess up the plan, right? So I want them to consider the possibility that they may have boundaries in place that will prevent me from achieving my goal of giving back. And I'm respectfully requesting that they put those obstacles aside just for the duration of this series, just to consider some of the things that we're going to talk about. And I appreciate that. Also, let me remind us all that just as there are many types of wealth, there are also many types of giving back, and plenty of people who spend much of their time trying to do just that. And some of those people are not very well appreciated, so I'm going to remind us of who they are. Not only so that you appreciate them a little bit more, but also that you're reminded that you may want something, you may need something, and there are people already out there trying to give. And these people, they don't want praise, they don't want money, but a little appreciation can keep them motivated, because we need them out there. So if you can appreciate what they're giving, you might be motivated to learn about giving back, and that's what I'm hoping for. So who's out there giving back already? Our elders, aka the old people. They're everywhere, and they often try to share a bit of wisdom or experience. Don't deny them. Parents, not just our own parents, parents of our friends, parents of our family members, and random parents we meet out in the street. Because parents watch people grow up. They learn from that. They know things. Teachers, coaches, mentors. And mentors can be anywhere, and they can start off as people who just give you advice, and then they may grow into that mentoring relationship. Don't deny them. Older siblings, give them a break. They do know stuff. They are older. They're your elders. And if you're into religion, your religious leaders. Role models. You got to be selective with the role models, but there are people out there who can't help but be role models, and they're doing positive things. Give them a look. Ask them a question. There are financially wealthy people who donate their time and money to various charities and community organizations all around the world. And there's a world full of volunteers, care providers, and emergency response personnel. To all of you, I say thank you. So, givers and giving back is definitely already out there. So take advantage of it, because that's what humans are supposed to do, right? Don't deny the givers the pleasure of giving back, and don't deny yourself the benefits of receiving. It's a very cool humanitarian cycle, right? Receiving, giving back, and you're giving back so someone else can receive and give back, and so on. When you live long enough to experience enough of the other types of wealth, right, the non-monetary types of wealth, you begin to see a correlation between true wealth, the aspects of life that make life not only worth living, but purposeful and productive and enjoyable. You see the correlation between true wealth and true happiness. You begin to understand the true value of those aspects of life and their value in comparison to the less valuable substitutes. Substitutes such as drugs for feeling good, right? Gangs instead of, for a feeling of being accepted. Fraud and deception for getting what you want. Retaliation instead of justice, etc. By not allowing yourself to substitute lesser goals, standards, companions, behaviors, and material goals for their more valuable counterparts, you set the standards for your own reality, and you draw the line that keeps you off the path of trouble, drama, and, the disappointing world of typical. Typical world, the standard way it goes, and, listening to the news and reacting to the news and just playing along with the regular way. If you look at, there's some special people out there. If you look at them, they're not doing some of the typical things. They become atypical, aka special. So, you can avoid that typical world altogether. Not altogether, right? But you can make an effort. And by doing this, it's what helps you recover faster from, or even avoid becoming depressed or angered by the chaos that fills our world. Right? It comes at you every day, and there's got to be a way around it or out from underneath it. Just consider that. Now, this doesn't mean you tune the world out. It has more to do with extracting yourself from the muck and the madness so that you can give back in a way that might help someone else extract themselves from their version of the muck and the madness. A different perspective of the same point is that financially wealthy people don't take certain chances. They don't associate with certain risks. They don't think a certain way, and they don't allow themselves to be affected by certain influences, all in order to keep their wealth safe. Likewise, once we generate a portfolio of positive quality of life assets, such as those I mentioned in my list, we need to guard those assets in the same way as many of the rich people do for their money, right? That's their wealth, they're guarding it. This is our wealth. We have to guard it. Notice I said guard, not hoard. The goal here is to identify a quality of life asset, scoop it up, enjoy it, develop it, appreciate it, and then share those things with others using your own version of giving back. Think of it this way. The world hurls lemons and drama your way every day. If that negativity lands on this side of the scale, then there you go, right? Negativity is weighing you down. But as you acquire and accumulate a list of positive, beneficial, quality of life assets, you get a balance. Now here's the critical part. It's up to us to give these positive assets the value and weight that they deserve, and then to diminish the effective weight of some of the negative items on the other side of that scale. Things that don't matter as much, things that we're taking personal, things we're being too sensitive about, things that will go away tomorrow if we let them. So you gotta diminish, you gotta work to give this the proper weight, and then really, truthfully, you're giving this the proper weight. And part of that has to do with learning how to give more value to a simple life, and also to be selective with your friends. There's some decisions that you have to do, but a simple life is. Now, when I say simple life, it doesn't mean that you can't have more. You can't go for it and have big dreams, right? It just means you appreciate the simple treasures in your life, right? You treasure the few friends that you have that are true, and you befriend the truth. What does that mean? The truth is best friends with reality. There is a correlation between truth, reality, sanity, and happiness. Now you substitute the antonyms for each of those words and you'll see their correlations with each other as well. We should appreciate our positive relationships, our positive character traits, our health and fitness, and work towards improving all of them. And in general, we should prefer to be happy and make a concentrated effort to resist trading our happiness for opportunities to become angry or depressed. Gotta say that again. We should prefer to be happy and to make a concentrated effort to resist trading our happiness for opportunities to become angry or depressed. Fight for your right to be happy by choosing not to pursue your right to revenge, retaliation, or even resentment. Because look, when humans are in a good mood, they do all sorts of neat, loving, beautiful, wonderful, selfless, kind, considerate, generous, and unbelievable things. Everything from donating money, volunteering time, tutoring someone until they graduate or finish whatever they're pursuing, letting someone's offensive behavior go without retaliation, saying something kind to someone, or even picking up a piece of trash. We all need more of that, right? So we all need to put ourselves in a position to do more of that. Positioning ourselves so that we can genuinely give back is a big part of what Time to Give Back is all about. Finally, with regards to my version of giving back, in my upcoming videos, I will refer to what I give back as returns. Each video will feature a different return. I have to begin with what I feel is the most crucial return. It comes first because I feel that the need for it is most critical. And I'll tell you, I would prefer to make this first return my last one because I want to get better at these videos and I wanted the most critical return to be presented best. But I just can't do it. This return is so important that it has to come first. It sets the foundation for being able to accept help and utilize the processes that allow us to succeed and in turn to give back. With all that in mind, thank you for tuning in for Time to Give Back. Please tune in again for my very first return. And just so you know, I've disabled comments because I don't want to expose us to the haters. And also don't worry about liking or subscribing because this is really all about giving back. So it's really simple that way. But please feel free to email positive feedback, constructive thoughts, or even return ideas at the email link that I'll provide. Okay, I suggest you watch these videos a couple times and let some of these concepts sink in and then pass them on. Now go do something good. When you do, everybody wins.